Okay, well, I guess it's time for that review that I promised you a week after that last video I uploaded. So yes, this is going to be the Galxy S10e review for 2021. Now for this phone came out in 2019. That's only 2 years ago. And you can find this for $180 today. Now, any iPhone that you want to get that has the same power as this is going to cost you at least $400. Now this phone is still super powerful. This phone includes the Snapdragon 855 or the Exynos 9820, depending on what region you're in. If you're in the USA or China, you're going to get the Snapdragon model. Any other country, you're screwed and you're going to get the Exynos model, which is not as powerful. As for the GPU, in the USA and China, you're going to get the Adreno 640. And for any other region, you're going to get the Mali G76 MP12. Now this phone will work with any carrier depending on what model you buy. This phone comes with a USB-C 3.1 type charging port, and going along with that, the battery is 3100 milliamp hours. It has 15 watt fast charging, putting that in quotation marks because that's not really fast charging for today when there's phones that are coming out that have 100 watt charging, so that's not really that big of a thing these days. But you also have 15 watt wireless charging. Now, a cool feature that comes with this phone is reverse wireless charging. Now that can go up to a max speed of 4.5 watts, which is not very fast, but if you just need a quick charge of some earbuds or something, just set your phone down, turn on the reverse wireless charging, and you can set the earbuds right on top. Now, as for the weight, this comes in at 150 grams or 5.29 ounces. I don't know why the US uses the imperial system, but hey, might as well throw out those numbers. Now there's Gorilla Glass 5 on the front and back of this phone, and it has an aluminum siding. The phone comes in at IP68 dust and water resistant, which pretty much means you can go up to 1.5 meters underwater for 30 minutes. This phone currently comes with Android 11 with One UI 3.1. Now this phone's actually getting an update to Android 12, which is one of the reasons why I would still purchase this phone in 2021. Now the base spec for this will also depend on your region. If you're in the US, Canada, or China, you will get 128 gigabytes of storage and 6 gigabytes of RAM. If you are in any other country for the base model, you will get 128 gigabytes and 8 gigabytes of RAM. And then there is another option that is the same throughout all regions, which is 256 gigs with 8 gigabytes of RAM. Now this phone comes in with a 5.8-inch screen. Now with Samsung, you are pretty much guaranteed a great display with all of their phones, even if you're getting the cheapest one. And this was a flagship, so you can only expect the best from Samsung. This has roughly an 83.3% screen to body ratio. It is 1080 by 2280 pixels, which for those PPI people out there, that is 438 ppi. Now that resolution will be a 19.9 aspect ratio, which pretty much means if you're watching content, stretch it to fill the whole screen. That's what I do, at least. For some reason my dad doesn't do that, but he's weird. Now with that AMOLED panel, you are also getting HDR10+, and trust me, this screen looks beautiful no matter what conditions you are in. Even if you're in the bright outdoors, you will still have a great experience with this display. Now with that AMOLED panel, you will also get an always on display, which pretty much means you can just glance over at your phone and see what the time is, battery, date, all that sort of stuff. All the necessities that you just need to look at your phone real quick for. Now as for the cameras on this phone, you are getting 12 megapixels on the main camera with a variable aperture of f1.5 to 2.4 and a 26 millimeter focal length. Now that is considered their wide camera. As for the ultra wide camera, you are getting a 16 megapixel sensor. With that sensor, you can expect an f2.2 aperture, no variable aperture on that one, with a 12mm focal length. Now that main camera actually has optical image stabilization, which just makes videos look awesome. Now with a Samsung phone, you can't expect the most color accurate photos or videos, but these cameras still look amazing. If you saw my last video, that was pretty much a review on these cameras, and if you hadn't, well, that pretty much spoils the whole concept of the video. I got a copyright claim on that video, so it probably didn't get pushed out to anyone. Now both those cameras on the back can do 4K at 60 FPS or 30 FPS. They can also do 1080p at 60 FPS or 30 FPS. Also, a feature that not many people should use is their super slow-mo, which is 960 FPS. I haven't even experimented with that feature. It sounds so ridiculous. But hey, if you want to get super slow-mo shots, they're not going to look that good, but you can get them. Now these videos will also look awesome on this display with HDR10+. Now there is stereo sound on these microphones. They actually don't sound too bad. I'll throw up a test right here. This is a test of not the most optimal video conditions for indoors. And yeah, this is the front-facing camera and also a test of the microphones. I'll do a test of the microphones with the back-facing cameras as well. But yeah, this is just a test. And now this is a test of the microphone quality for the back-facing cameras. Just walking down my steps. This is also a test for how well this optical image stabilization works and how well their electronic image stabilization also works. Now, I don't have the most steady hands. My hands are shaking quite a bit right now. And from what I can see, this phone's still doing a pretty good job. So yeah, these cameras are quite good. And yeah, pretty much that just shows you that these microphones would work for videos if you're just trying to get a basic video. Now, as I stated before, both these cameras come in with optical image stabilization. They also come in with electronic image stabilization, which pretty much just crops your video just a little bit to steady the video out just a bit. Now, as for the selfie camera, you're getting a 10 megapixel f1.9 aperture with a 26mm focal length. Now on the front-facing camera, you can also take 4K at 30 or 60 FPS and 1080p at 30 or 60 FPS. But hey, unfortunately, you can't get the super slow-mo at 960 FPS. Darn. Now as for the look and feel of this device, it looks so sleek and nice in your hands. The colors are beautiful. There are 4 or 5 different colors, depending on what region you are in. There's Prism White, Prism Black, Prism Green, Prism Blue, Canary Yellow, Flamingo Pink. Their coloring scheme is kind of odd, but it's Samsung. They're kind of odd anyway. Now as for the buttons on this device, you can expect a fingerprint sensor on the power button, which is really nice in comparison to the S10, which has an under-screen fingerprint sensor. You can also expect a Bixby button, but you can customize it in settings now, so it's pretty nice. Now for my small hands, this phone works perfectly. I have not found any complaints with the size. I wish that Samsung would update this model and give us an S21e or maybe an S22e whenever that phone comes out. So yeah, it just looks and feels amazing. Now as for the extra features, there's a set of stereo speakers on this device. There is also something that most phones should still have, and it's ridiculous that this feature is not on many phones. I don't use it personally, but 3.5mm headphone jacks. Why did Apple have to get rid of them? I'm actually filming with an iPhone 7 right now, which was the first phone to get rid of the headphone jack. Why? Why'd you do that? Now another feature that Samsung has now gotten rid of on their phones is a micro SD card slot. You can use this for filming or taking photos and such. I don't know other things you can use it for, but yeah, it's pretty nice. Now this phone, which is really nice, and I didn't even realize it when I bought it, has Wi-Fi 6. That was really uncommon for the days. I mean, it was only 2 years ago, but Wi-Fi 6 didn't really start coming out until like last year. So yeah, it also has Bluetooth 5.0. So pretty much you're getting the fastest connections for everything on this phone. I also believe it has 5G, but I'll have to look that up afterwards. I'll show up a little thing right here if it does or does not. Another thing about this phone, it has NFC, so that pretty much means you can just tap to pay or do stuff like that. I actually have some NFC tags that have some automation set up to turn on and off my lights and such. So yeah, NFC is a pretty nice feature on this. Now, a feature that Samsung needs to advertise more on their phones is Samsung DeX. If you are out on the go, I don't know why you would have a monitor with you, but for some reason if you do, you can plug in your phone and use it as a computer. Now, it's not the most powerful computer, obviously, but you can pretty much use it as a Chromebook. So if you have this phone, you have a Chromebook, a phone, and kind of a tablet. Because a phone and a computer mixed together is kind of a tablet. So yeah, that's a feature that Samsung needs to start advertising more on their phones. But they just don't. So I don't know why, but yeah, Samsung DeX is a great feature. I haven't personally used it much, but if I ever need to use it, that's a great feature to have. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this review. I don't really have anything else to talk about. Sorry for taking so long to get this video out. But yeah, the S10e is still an amazing value in 2021, and I would still recommend it. Maybe even into 2022. I may even do an updated review in 2022, but who knows. But yeah, thanks for watching. See ya.